G'day guys, my name is Wildkard and welcome back to my channel. Six Nations is 1 week away and let's take a look at the Scottish squad heading into this 2022 season. So Scotland is probably the hidden, the dark horse in the race, in my opinion. They definitely have the talent, have the growth and development over the last year to actually challenge for the Six Nations this year. They have a couple of pretty tough competition they're facing, obviously the Irish side, but Ireland had a bit of injury last week, so maybe not so out of reach to beat the Irish team. Also the French team as well. There has been some illness issues, so it's not, and also Scotland did beat France last year, so it's not out of the question for them beating France again. So it's not completely out of the question that Scotland could potentially win Six Nations this year. It is definitely much closer than people are giving them credit for. So heading into the preview of the team, there's a little bit of controversy coming out of the Scottish camp for the selections. The omission over Adam Hastings not to be included in the 39-man squad that Greg Townsend has announced. So this is a little bit of interesting thing as to this decision by Greg Townsend, because without Adam Hastings, there is actually not another specialist 10 available for the Scottish side. So this could actually end up hurting Scotland quite a bit if Ali Price catches an injury, and there's a lot of speculations as to why this was the case, because Adam Hastings has done pretty well for Scotland as a backup over the years, including in 2020 where there was a disagreement between Townsend and Greg Townsend and Finn Russell. Sorry, did I say Ali Price? With Finn Russell, there was a bit of disagreement between the two, and Finn Russell didn't play in 2020 for Scotland. And in that year, Adam Hastings was the starting 10 for the whole season. So quite an experienced character, quite a solid player for Scotland as well. A lot of experience, not selected. So there was a lot of speculations as to why this kind of happened. Some speculations to say that, again, probably ego was involved. Similar situations to potentially what happened to Finn Russell in 2020, where there could be some disagreement between the coach and Hastings. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if you know what's happening between the selection here. Quite interesting. As a result of Hastings not being selected, there's not another specialist 10 as a reserve, as a backup. So the only other player could potentially play 10 is Blake Kinson, and also Stuart Hogg could play 10. Have played 10 before, but again, they're not exactly the specialists for the 10 position. So very interesting stuff. Let me know what's happening here, and this could potentially hurt Scotland's chances, but we shall see. The Scotland schedule: first game at home this weekend coming up next weekend, against England. Wales the week after away. Home game against France. They were able to beat France last year away. So having England at home should give them an advantage. They did beat England last year away in Twickenham, some 38 years in the making. So this could be a big second win in a row against England. Also against France at home, big advantage as well. The big tough game for them in terms of their chance of winning Six Nations is Ireland, the final game in Ireland, against probably the favourites to win Six Nations this year. And if Scotland can pull up a stellar win against France and England, and also Wales away, they could potentially set themselves up to a Grand Slam in Ireland, in Dublin, and that would be a quite nice game to watch. Like I said, Scotland definitely has the talent, has the experience. This just comes down to execution to some of the key players. Let's have a look at those right now. So first up, the key players for the Scottish side in the 4-pack. The scrums hasn't been that great, but has definitely been improving quite a lot over the year. Xander Fakerson has really developed a bit, but his scrummaging is not exactly 100%. With the Irish side, with Ty Furlong being injured, maybe Scotland's scrum's not going to be that much of an issue. But again, the Scottish scrum is going to be a big key factor setting up their win for the year. And also the back rowers, Jamie Ritchie and Hamish Watson will play a huge role in terms of securing that breakdown and getting that quick ball for the team. And the back line is probably where the biggest, threats are for the Scottish side. And a couple of players. So the Scottish have really strong wingers, and a really, I guess the key player for them is the playmaking skills of Finn Russell. So Finn Russell has, in fact, last year being touted to be the favourite number 10 for the Lions tour for his playmaking skills. Whilst he's incredibly good at playmaking, his kicking has been letting Scotland down a little bit in the November Test series, but his kicking was quite spot on in the Lions Test series, provided that they really didn't take that many provided that he did have only like a very limited kicks to perform. But his performance in the Autumn Nations was really not that great. It was like 50% or something, maybe even lower. So it's for Scotland to have a chance of winning the Six Nations at all, the kicking game, the goal kicking has to be spot on out of Finn Russell. And also the other thing that was the other weapon that Scotland have is the Duan van der Merwe on the wing, the South African import. Quite a few imports that's quite important for them as well. There's another like newer guy that's coming through for the Scottish side, Kyle Steyn. Also another guy that kind of only just made this debut for Scotland end of last year. Will be looking to make a huge statement this year for Scotland coming off the bench. So those are kind of like the key players. Obviously, Stuart Hogg, many players consider the best fullback in Europe. His performance against England last year was probably the reason why Scotland beat England last year at Twickenham. But another big year for him to show off the what he can do. So these are kind of players that you want to look out for, and these are really the key players that's going to drive the Scottish side to that Six Nation potential title. And it's really, like, in terms of experience, in terms of talent, the Scotland definitely has the talent. They definitely have the size in the forward pack. It's just come down to the execution. Just come down to that, kicking game, being able to be clinical. They do have that issue last year where they had in the beginning of last year where they had issue closing down the games, where they were against Wales, for instance. They had opportunities to kind of beat Wales, but they kind of didn't really have that experience to close games. And then they kind of grow into that against France, where they were able to beat France in extra time. And then that's kind of like the development of the team as well. So they definitely have grown last year tremendously. But as their performance shown in the November Test series against the Southerner teams, there is still a lot of execution that can be improved for the Scottish side to kind of get themselves across the line for the Six Nations title. So let's have a look at the full list of the players that are selected. The Townsend has selected a 39-man team. Just wanted to let you guys know, I have an extra picture here for Van der Merwe. That's his brother. Okay? That's his brother. So Van der Merwe is, 193 centimeters. He looked like the Russian experiment from Rocky 4, right? Blonde hair, just a perfect specimen, giant, fast, 105 kilos. Just a big, machine on the field. His brother, it's 175 kilos and, looked nothing like Van der Merwe. And, I think, this should be a DNA test to see if they're actually brothers. But you can see that they are complete opposite. And his brother plays hooker. So not nearly as fast, not nearly as talented as Van der Merwe, as Duhan. But apparently these two are brothers. So quite big difference in their skill set and talents. I guess they are probably related. The only thing they have in common is that neither of them could get a permanent spot in the Springbok team. But other than that, there's almost nothing in common between these two. So interesting to see. Anyway, Scotland, let's have a look at the four pack. Ewan Ashman, hooker, 188 centimeters, 111 kilograms, 2 test caps, relatively new player for the Scottish side, only debuted end of last year. George Bayliss, flanker, 193 centimeters, 107 kilograms, 2 test caps as well, new player coming off the bench most likely, if at all getting an opportunity. Jamie Barty, loose profile Scotland, 187 centimeters, 120 kilograms, 22 caps. He's one of the players that needs to kind of step up and make sure the scrum goes well. One of the critical, important players for the Scottish side to perform to potentially get the Six Nation title. Magnus Bradbury, he is placed number 8. He's 193 centimeters, 116 kilograms, 14 test caps. Next up, Andy Christie's, also placed number 8, 188 centimeters, 103 kilograms, potentially debuting for Scotland. Scott Cummins coming in at lock position, 198 centimeters, 116 kilograms, 21 test caps, one of the more experienced players on the Scottish side. Rory Darge, a flanker, 186 centimeters, 98 kilograms, a debutant for the Scottish side. Matt Fakerson coming in at number 8 position as well, 186 centimeters, 110 kilograms. 17 centimeters, someone who's been building that experience for the Scottish side, who will be very important for the Scottish success. Xander Fakerson, another guy who's really becoming that more and more experienced player. He was literally on the bench in 2019. Now he's moving to a starting type prop position. 188 centimeters, 125 kilograms, 42 test caps. He needs to probably control himself a little bit. He gets a little bit, he kind of gets aggravated easily sometimes and kind of like forced off that discipline a little bit at times. He needs to really just control that and manage his own kind of like emotions around the field. That will be a massive, massive improvement for Xander Fakerson. Grant Gilchrist comes in at lock position, 2 meters and 2 centimeters tall, 117 kilograms, 87 test caps. Johnny Gray, a tremendous player for Scotland, at lock position, 199 centimeters, 121 kilograms, 64 test caps. He was one of the outstanding performers in Six Nations last year. We shall see if he can continue that trend this year. Nick Hastings at number 8 position, 193 centimeters, 115 kilos, and he's got 10 test caps for Scotland. Jamie Hodgson comes in at lock position, 197 centimeters, 116 kilograms, 3 test caps. Next up, Stuart McKinley, hooker position. Sorry if I pronounced the name wrong. Hooker position, 190 centimeters, 108 kilograms, 43 test caps. Next one, William Neal, prop. He is a South African guy, I guess. He's 182 centimeters, 115 kilograms, 43 test caps. Jamie Ritchie, flanker position, 193 centimeters, 105 kilograms, 31 test cap. Another one of the players who's been improving year by year. Another big year coming up to see him take that next step up, takes that next development stage and get to that next level that Scotland really needs him to be. Pierre Schulman, a prop for Scotland. He's 184 centimeters, 118 kilograms, 4 test caps. Jarvan Sebastian, another prop for Scotland, 174 centimeters, only debuted recently. I think he's already like 30 years old or 32 years old. 174 centimeters, 125 kilograms, and 1 test cap for Scotland. And I think he's a Georgian, so he's interesting import for Scotland. Yeah, not South African, not actually South African. Sam Skinner comes in a lock position, 196 centimeters, 111 kilograms, 15 test caps. Rory Sutherland, prop, 183 centimeters, 113 kilos, 16 test caps. George Turner, a hooker for Scotland, 180 centimeters, 105 kilos, 20 test caps. And finally, probably one of the most important players in the Scottish 4-pack, Hamish Watson, a Lions player, flanker, 185 centimeters, 102 kilograms, 45 test caps. Quite an aggressive player. Probably gets a little bit too aggressive at times. Like we saw him in the Lions tour where he was kind of like penalized for kind of like lifting tackle. Maybe he does get too excited at times, but his aggression, that intensity is definitely something that Scotland desperately need him to bring for the games. Next one, let's have a look at the back line. First up, we'll have Mark Bennett on the center position, 183 centimeters, 90 kilograms, 22 test caps. Darcy Grams on the wing position, 176 centimeters, 75 kilos, 22 test caps. Chris Harris on the center position I think it's outside center, 188 centimeters, 102 kilograms, and 31 test caps. Stuart Hogg, fullback. I've already talked about him. Best fullback in Europe, 180 centimeters, 93 kilograms, 88 test caps. His kicking game will be, once again, absolutely crucial for Scotland's success. Rory Hutchison, utility back, 181 centimeters, 95 kilograms, 5 test caps. Sam Johnson, another centre, 185 centimeters, 95 kilograms, and 21 test caps. Blair Kinghorn, the utility back, should actually be called the utility back. He's 193 centimeters, 107 kilograms, and 28 test caps. Rufus McLean on the wing, 181 centimeters, 84 kilograms, 2 test caps. Ali Price, the halfback, 174 centimeters, 88 kilograms, 46 test caps. Cameron Redpath, another centre for Scotland, 188 centimeters, 95 kilograms, only 1 test cap under his belt. Kyle Rove, fullback position, 183 centimeters, 88 kilograms, debuting potentially for Scotland side. Finn Russell, the number 10, the probably most important player in the Scottish side, and the player probably has the biggest task, the most improvement that we need out of him, which is goal kicking. Finn Russell at fly half position, 182 centimeters, 87 kilograms, and 58 test caps. Kyle Steyn on the wing, a guy that Scotland boarding last year, very impressive against Tonga. 188 centimeters, 102 kilograms, 3 test caps. Simone Tupulotu comes in for the center position, 179 centimeters, 104 kilograms, 1 test cap. I believe he's a Australian. He definitely, I think he grew up in Melbourne. And then we have the Russian experiment, I guess South African experiment, Duhan van der Merwe. He is on the wing, 193 centimeters, 105 kilograms, 13 test cap. He was the premier winger for the Lions tour. That tells you how good he is on the wing. Ben Vellacott is a fullback position, potentially debuting for Scotland, 168 centimeters, 78 kilograms. Lastly, Ben White at halfback, potentially debuting for Scotland, 180 centimeters and 87 kilos. That is the Scottish side, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts with Hastings, between Townsend and Hastings. Do you know anything that I don't know about? Is there something going on between the coach and the player? Let me know your comments down below. Let me know your predictions. Thank you for watching this video, guys. I'll see you guys for the previews of the news later. Cheers.